With the deadline less than a month away at this point, I decided in this video to take a look at a few franchise players that could be moved. Considering their respective contract amount, they will likely happen in the offseason, but with rumors surrounding them lately, I thought it would be fitting to address them. And with that, here are 3 NHL players that could be traded and where they may end up. Things for the Winnipeg Jets coming into the season, for many, appeared to be pretty bright. After the Jets acquired formerly disgruntled Pierre-Luc Dubois from Columbus, many were anticipating that the team was going to go on a tear in the Central. Many proposed that the 1-2 punch per se with Mark Scheifele and Pierre-Luc Dubois down the middle would be way too much to handle for most opposing teams. However, after the surprising departure of longtime coach Paul Maurice, the Jets have struggled to remain competitive while searching for a new identity. Currently, well outside of a playoff position, GM Kevin Cheveldayoff will be looking to shake things up not only this deadline, but also in the offseason. Besides Andrew Copp, another player that's been in the rumor mill now for quite some time is Mark Scheifele. Since being drafted 7th overall by the Jets in 2011, Scheifele quickly became a core piece of the team while providing a steady stream of offense up front. However, with 2 seasons remaining on his 8-year, $49 million deal, Scheifele's future in Manitoba has recently come into question. Considering that many teams are scrounging for cap space at the present time, makes a deadline trade less likely to happen. A recent article from The Athletic, which I'll link below, suggests that the offseason would make more sense. With 45 points in 48 games played, Scheifele would be a good addition to a team looking for offense down the middle. So far, there haven't been any teams officially linked to Scheifele, therefore it's hard to say where he would end up. The New York Rangers obviously have the need, Minnesota does as well with their arrival. Boston could use a solid second-line center, but could they afford him is the question. Also, we'll be taking into account Scheifele does have a 10-team no-trade list, therefore he'll be able to limit the potential destinations as well. Definitely a rather interesting situation here is that of Patrik Laine's. After being traded to Columbus last season, Laine has had a rather rough start with CBJ. However, after the departure of John Tortorella and the insertion of Jakub Voracek into the Jackets lineup, Laine has thrived offensively. Currently sporting 38 points after 35 games played, number 29 has already notched 20 goals so far on the season. And, as you would expect, being such a high-profile player with an expiring contract on the books has attracted quite a bit of media attention. So much so that GM Jarmo Kekalainen strongly denied trade rumors involving the Finnish superstar, saying, quote, "People make up shit," end quote. Regardless, even if he's not dealt at the deadline, it still leaves plenty of room for speculation considering Laine's RFA status. Knowing that Laine decided to take the qualifying offer, this means that the Jackets will have to pay Laine what he's truly worth, or could risk losing him altogether. This creates an interesting scenario, potentially, to happen this offseason, one that would be similar to what we saw with Jesperi Kotkaniemi and Carolina this past summer. With that being said, the only team that's really been tied to Laine is the Anaheim Ducks. Interestingly, according to NHL insider Dave Pagnotta, Anaheim inquired about Laine's services back before he was dealt to Columbus. It's definitely hard to tell where Anaheim's cap space will be after the deadline, but currently the team has over $11 million available. Now that the Ducks do have a developing center in Trevor Zegras, could they potentially try and offer sheet Laine this offseason? It's definitely something to keep an eye on moving forward, but again, it's just interesting to ponder. Recently, newly appointed GM Kyle Davidson spoke on his plans looking forward for the Chicago Blackhawks. Davidson went on to set the tone for the franchise while saying that they're looking to undergo a full-on rebuild, which had many skeptical as to where Patrick Kane could end up. TSN, for instance, had their own insiders speaking on the potential for the superstar to be moved. NHL insider Darren Drager, in the article, said that he believes the potential for a move, if it happened, would be in the summer. At the same time, we all know fair and well that Kane has a full no-move clause on his contract, therefore it would be his ultimate choice to make. The forward has also said it would be an honor for him to finish his career in Chicago, knowing, however, that Kane would most likely offer the greatest return out of any roster players. It's hard not to wonder if Davidson wouldn't consider moving him if the right offer came along. Apparently, according to Elliot Friedman, the Blackhawks have already been receiving calls from GMs inquiring about number 88. Dave Pagnotta also went a step further and reported reported that the Colorado Avalanche was one of those interested teams. Knowing that, at 50% salary retained, Kane's $10.5 million cap hit wouldn't seem too cumbersome, considering he's still playing at an elite level. Considering that he will have the ultimate say in where he goes, one team he could potentially say yes to is the New York Rangers. Similarly to Patrik Laine and Jakub Voracek, Patrick Kane demonstrated a rare but major chemistry on ice during his days playing with Artemi Panarin. Two wingers that click on the same line at the level that they did in Chi-Town isn't seen very often. Kane also developed quite the bromance with the Breadman and even told Sportsnet that he was disappointed and emotional when Panarin was traded to Columbus, considering that, at half salary, that the Rangers could potentially afford him and do have the need, would they strive to reunite the duo this offseason? Again, it's hard to say where the cap will be for them post-deadline, but currently, at 50% salary retained, they could afford Showtime. And the Rangers have a slew of players and prospects that they could offer up in return.